Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If this is the first time here, please hit the subscribe button. Let's get this channel to 200 subscribers. Okay, if you've been watching other videos, you're welcome. If you've not seen the other videos prior to this one, please make sure to, I'll put it up here, please make sure to check them out so you don't get confused. Okay, so this is about the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, and in previous videos we've introduced what the scholarship is all about, how you can even write your essays. But I got a lot of requests that I should make a video, I should read my own essays, or I should just give them a structure. I should give you guys a structure or tell you guys how to start, because one of the problems is, how do I start crafting this essay? What should be my first sentence? How should I introduce my essays? And that I'll be doing in today's video. So if you're interested in this video, please keep on watching, and please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and drop a comment in the comment section. Okay, let's jump right into the video. So first of all, there are a total of 11 questions you have to answer for this Commonwealth Share Scholarship, and the essays are in 4 parts. So there is the developmental impact, there is a leadership essay, there is the study outline, and there is objectives during the award. So objectives during the award and after the award. So for this video I'll be covering 2, so I don't want this video to be too long. I'll be covering 2 parts of the essays, the developmental impact as well as the study outline. So in case you see me looking down here, I took down some notes, so I'll be referring to my notes as well as my phone. Yeah, so you guys bear with me in case I don't keep on making eye contact. So for the first part, I'll start with the developmental impact goal. This is the first part, and the first question there is, I might not get all the questions exactly because I didn't really take down the questions per se, but you know what I'm talking about. So this is the first question you'll be answering in your Commonwealth shared essay. The first question says, explain how your study relates to development issues at the global, national, and local level. That's for the A part. B says, development issues connected to your chosen CSC theme and the wider sector. Yeah, so you tell them how does it relate to like general problems at the local level and at the global level. And also you have to connect it to the CSC theme that you've chosen. So if you're making this application, you know that there are different themes. So there are ones on climate, environment, health, sustainability, science and technology. So there are different themes. You also have to connect the course you've chosen to study to the particular theme. So every course you choose falls under a theme. Just keep that in mind. Always know the theme you've chosen ahead of time. Always bear it in mind while writing these essays. Also, another thing I would like to point out is your sustainable development goals. You should choose at least 2 SDGs that your course is related to. So for me personally, my course is related to the good health and well-being as well as quality education. So look for like at least 2, at most 3 SDGs that your course is related to, and also bear that in mind whenever you're writing these essays, because you have to mention them from time to time. For the first question, I'm going to go ahead and read the first paragraph of my essay. I want to show you guys how I started my essays, and I'll give you like a breakdown of how you can structure your essays for it to make sense. One thing you should always keep in mind is that please have something an area or a niche that you're interested in. If you're interested in, let's say you're applying for public health, you're interested in mental health, or you're interested in child health, or you're interested in policy development, have an area that is of interest to you. Don't come to essay number 1, you're writing of mental health. In the second essay, you're writing of genetics. The third essay, you're writing about child and maternal health. No. Please have an area that you're interested in, and make sure that anybody who reads any part of your essay would know that, okay, this person is really interested in this, and the person who is reading your essay should be able to understand that, okay, this person is really passionate about this. So if you read your essay and you can't tell what this person is really looking for in their master's degree, then that essay is disjointed. You need to go and revisit that essay. First essay here, it says your study, how is it related to issues at the global level and at the local level, and also how is it connected to the CSC theme that you've chosen. So the first thing I'm going to say is make sure that you identify a problem. What is the problem you identified? That's why I said you need to have something you're interested in, or an area of interest. Let's say you're interested in mental health, or you have to state a problem concerning mental health. Do you understand? So mental health is a global problem. It's also a problem locally. Let's say you're from Nigeria, or from your Togo, you're from Ghana. If that problem exists in your locality, mention it, and also mention it at the global level. Another tip I would give is to always use statistics. Always quote relevant sources, and also use recent studies. Okay, you can say in 2018 so number of people were known to have mental health issues, blah blah blah. Always use statistics, because it makes your work a lot more relevant, and it makes it make sense. So my first paragraph, this is how I introduced my first essay. So I said, so I was literally just talking about policies, policies to reduce so for me, I was interested in policies to reduce infectious diseases. Okay, so that is what my everything I'm talking about is related to. I'm interested in policies that help to reduce especially emerging and reemerging infectious diseases. So this is how I introduced my first paragraph. So I said, with the emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic, developing countries have realized the urgent need to strengthen their healthcare systems. Now, this strengthening healthcare systems is the theme that my course was under. So I used the global issue and introduced why I have selected that theme and why I'm going for that course. Do you understand? So you can say with the high prevalence or incidence of mental health or of this problem globally, you have decided to join in the fight at both the local level and at the national, at the global level, about concerning this course. You introduce it, use a very catchy paragraph. If I were to rewrite this essay now, I wouldn't write it this way, because I was very naive when I was still writing this essay. That was like my first time writing essays. So to me, reading this right now, it's not as catchy as what I would write now. So as you write essays, you learn, you grow, and you begin to improve in your writing. So this was actually how I started so from there, you've identified the problem. You give a statistic to show that this is actually a problem. You don't say mental health, about 10 people in your country have mental health problem. It's not really a serious matter if it's just 10 people. So use statistics to show them that this is a pressing matter and it's very important that you look into it. Now, after you've done that, the next thing you're going to say is, what is missing? You've identified a problem. Now, what is missing? What haven't they found out? What haven't they done? What are they ignoring that could actually help to solve this problem? That is where you come in. That is where the course you've selected comes in. So how I wrote mine was, so a major drawback is the implementation of policies. So you see how I brought in my interest. So I realized that a lot of policies were lacking, or they were not well implemented. So have it at the back of your mind. You're talking about this area. This is the area you're passionate about. For me, I was passionate about policies that reduces infectious diseases, or maybe non-communicable and non-communicable diseases for now, but then it was just basically policies that reduce emerging and re-emerging infectious diseases. So that was my interest. So I said a major drawback is the implementation of policies. Now, this is something that is missing. I've identified a problem and I've identified something that is missing. So the next thing you can do is to tell a short story. If you've personally experienced something, I didn't have like a personal experience in this, so I didn't use a story, but I've seen a lot of people who use stories and it works out for them. So if you've experienced, let's say you've had an experience with mental health. I don't know why I keep using mental health. I'm interested in mental health anyway. So if you have had an experience with mental health, this is the best time for you to bring it in. Okay, just very short stories, straight to the point. Tell them, so my experience dealing with mental health, I realized that so thing was lacking, but I was able to come out of it, Tell them the problems you faced when you were going through that challenge, which made you want to look into that area of study. Now, the next thing you can do is, how does your study solve that problem, that challenge, that thing that is missing? How does your study fill that gap? Now, I'll read to you how I brought my in. So I said, therefore, this is the last paragraph anyway, so I'm not reading everything because it's quite long. So I'm just telling you how I introduced these paragraphs and how they made sense. So I said, therefore, studying the method of incorporating private agencies in health management in the UK will result in more efficient delivery of healthcare. So I'm going to study how I know one of the modules would teach me how private agencies work hand in hand with government agencies in order to implement policies. So this is what I will learn, and I've looked around. This practice is not really common, but if I learn this in this school, it's going to help me be able to practice it and help fill that gap that I've noticed. Do you understand the trend? So you identify a problem, what is missing, what gap needs to be filled. Now, how does your course fill that gap? So while you're mentioning this, also have it at the back of your mind that you'll be mentioning sustainable development goals. Anyone you've chosen, how does it also relate? So you make it make sense. Follow this strategy. If you have any other strategy, fine, but make sure that you're answering the questions that they've asked you. That is the most important. How does your course relate to a problem? Now you've identified the problem at a global and local level. How does your course solve that problem? So you need to answer that question, and also answer how the CSC theme. For me, I answered the second question first, if you were listening when I read my first paragraph. So my first paragraph, I introduced the CSC theme that my course was under. So I shall answer the questions, but the strategy, I just wanted it to flow and make sense. So start with problem, the gap, and how your course is going to fill that gap. Okay, so we're going into the second question. So the second part says, how do you intend to apply your new skills and qualifications when you return home? I think that's it. So when you return home, how do you hope to apply your skills? Please, for this one, be as practical and feasible as possible. Don't go and start telling us you're going to build a big research institute, you're going to become the governor of your country. Yeah, those are good plans, but they might take a very long time for you to accomplish, seeing that nobody's giving you any capital to do anything. They're just empowering you with the knowledge. Okay, so how will you implement that knowledge that you've gotten from the UK? They're not giving you money to go and build roads in your village. No, they're just empowering you with knowledge and experience and skills for you to implement those changes you want to see. So how are you going to implement that? So be as practical, as feasible as possible. This is how I started it. I said, my research dissertation during my study on the policies adopted by the UK public health sector in promoting effective healthcare delivery will provide information that will aid public orientation and sustainable policies to rejuvenate the Nigerian healthcare system. So here, I based my application of my course on orientation, and basically orientation, reorientation, and orientation. How will I do this? So I'm going to talk about how practical ways I'm going to do that, like detailed in other essays, but here you have to be practical. Say something that you can do. Now, if there's something you've been doing in your country, you can use that as a building block. For me, I was a graduate assistant. I was already a graduate assistant, so I knew I wanted to also learn the UK teaching system or educational system in order to apply it in the educational sector where I'm coming from, in terms of because I am a graduate assistant in the health department, health sciences. Okay, so I'm also going to study a health science course. So I'm going to apply the learning skills or the teaching skills that I've experienced there and apply it to what I am already doing. So if you work in a certain company, if there's a project you're carrying out, just build on that. You don't have to start from the scratch. You can just say, okay, you're going to use this to apply to this. be as, I think this second question is really short. I think it's about 100 words. I'm not sure, because I think, yeah, it's about 100 words, so it's really, really short. You don't have to say a lot, just a summary, because you still answer it in details later. So you can just tell them a summary of what you want to do. You want to build on this, you want to continue with this project, you're going to apply it in this sector, you're going to create awareness programs. So that is that. And so that was what I stated. So the two things I stated here were orientation, and also applying my teaching skills I'm going to learn from the UK when I get back home. So the third development so the third so the third development impact says, what do you expect to change in development terms following your studies, including the outcomes that you aim to achieve, the time frame, and the beneficiaries. Now this is where, like I said, the first one was just a summary of everything you're going to say now, and here you're going to be very detailed about your plan. You're telling them exactly what you're going to do. You're telling them who is going to benefit from it. You're telling them time, how long is it going to take you. So you use your SMART goals here. So S means specific, M means measurable, A means achievable, R means relevant, and T means time bound. I think so. So always consider this in mind. Is your goal specific? Is it measurable? How can you measure it? Is it achievable? Is it relevant? Is it time bound? What's the time? So have this in mind. So I'm going to read to you guys how I outlined mine. So I said, following my study experience, or following the study experience, I expect that my attitude to teaching and research will improve. So remember from the previous essay, I introduced that I wanted to apply the teaching skills I will learn from here back home. So here I'm also reiterating that matter, but here I'm going to put it in details. So don't come to this essay, you're telling them you want to learn how to cook rice. In the next essay, you're telling them you want to learn how to build house. No, you can tell them you want to learn how to cook rice, and then you come to the next essay and say, okay, the rice I want to learn how to cook is jollof rice, and I want to learn how to cut pepper for jollof rice, how to measure ingredients. Let everything flow. It's not in this essay you're talking about an idea, the next essay your idea has changed, you're talking about a different thing. So if you want to learn how to project management, when you want to learn how to manage a project, you explain that in the first essay. Now you come back and give that in details. Always let your ideas be the same. So here I said, I expect that my attitude to teaching and research will improve. Such will be an immediate outcome. So this is a me factor. This is something I have to work on. So it's almost an immediate thing. So let's assume I go back to Nigeria tomorrow and I go back to my GA job, and the first thing I'm going to actually implement is that skill that because I don't need money, I don't need anything to implement it. I just need to give what I've received, just give it out, show it off when I'm teaching or when I'm handling and working with the professor or something. So yeah, keep that in mind. So talk about the exposure you're going to receive. You're going to meet a lot of people from different backgrounds. How is that going to improve how is that going to help you implement your goals? Also, if you're going to do research, maybe your dissertation, is your research going to be useful? How are you going to use that research to apply home? So here I also talked about my research. So after I talked about the teaching skills, I explained how it's going to be beneficial to students. I also explained how I will measure it. So definitely you measure, I can measure if the students are learning better by improvements in their understanding or maybe their results. I didn't really emphasize on results because exams are not really a true test of knowledge, but their understanding and maybe their practicals, if they're able to do better, and ask good questions, do research, that will show that okay, there's a change. You understand? So when you pick a point, try to explain it very well. Tell them this is how you hope to apply this. This is the people who are going to benefit. And then after that, I also talked about my thesis, the dissertation I'm going to do, my findings from my thesis, how is it going to be applied, so you also have to choose, like, have in mind what you really want to research about. Let it be a very practical topic that you can implement when you get back home. So I talked about it. I said subsequently, this is about my second paragraph or third, I'm not sure, I'm using my phone so it's disorganized. So subsequently, the outcome of my thesis will be implemented in the creation of policies that would foster integration of private agencies into healthcare delivery and promotion. So you hear me talking about policies. I've been talking about policies and teaching skills right from the beginning. So let your idea continue flowing that way. Have something and run with that thing. My last paragraph says these goals will take approximately 2 years immediately after my studies to be accomplished, and beneficiaries will include rural communities, blah blah blah. So be specific. If it's going to take 3 years, 1 year, 6 months, mention it, write it there. Be as specific as you can. Let them know that you know what you want to do. Yeah, we can't dictate what will happen tomorrow, but it's good to have a plan. So even if something changes, you can always change with it. Okay, so the fourth part of the development impact is how will the impact of your study be measured. I think this is also short, about 100 words. So how will you measure, how will they measure what you've done? You're coming to learn this, you're coming to do that, to go and implement in your country. How are we going to see that you're actually achieving this? So I mentioned that the research or the dissertation I'm going to undertake will be published, and it would contribute to already existing findings, which would also help in policy implementation or policy design. So I mentioned that it can be accessed through the DOI, that is digital object identifier, that I'm going to provide to the CSC after I'm done with my studies. And also, remember I said I'm also going to have orientation practices and awareness campaigns, stuff like that. So I'm also going to be conducting that from time to time. So after conducting that, it's definitely going to have an effect on the people, on the beneficiaries. That's another way to also measure these beneficiaries. Let's say these people have been dealing with dirty environment, or they don't know how to dispose refuse, and after awareness campaigns, you've seen that the environment is getting cleaner. They've learned good practices, good personal hygiene. That's a measurable impact. That is a way to measure the impact of what you're doing. Do you understand? So make it as practical as possible. And this is the last question for the development impact. So next, we're going to go into the study outline. So for this video, I'm just going to talk about 2 parts of the essay. I'm going to do a part 2. I talked about the other 2 parts of the essays because I don't want this video to be too long. I think it's already getting very long now. So for the study outline, and they are in 2 parts. The first one is a short outline of your proposed study, which is about, I think, 100 words or 200, I'm not too sure. So, and then the second part is like the detailed one. So I'm going to start with the first part. It says provide a short outline of your proposed study or research. This should be written for an audience that does not have any prior knowledge of the subject and must not be overly technical. So any abbreviations or special terms should be defined. Here, what are the things you have to do? First of all, why have you chosen this course? Tell them why you chose this course. What are you looking for? Why have you chosen this course, and what will you gain from the course? Okay. And introduce your research area of interest, just briefly, because like I said, this is about 100 words or 200 words, I'm not sure. It's looking like 150 or thereabout. But yeah, so everything has to be brief because it's just like an introduction to the next question. So I'm going to show you how, I'm going to read out mine and tell you how I started my paragraph. So I said, my choice of so course is to acquire more advanced knowledge and skills in order to help to position me for leadership roles in health and in delivery of healthcare interventions. So this is why I've chosen this course. This is my aim, like my general aim. Someone asked you, why are you studying this course? Beyond the specific models you're studying, what's the general reason you're studying this course? You want to be a better leader. You want to learn this skill. You want to learn how to do this. That's like your general aim. So introduce that general reason why you've chosen this course. That should be your first paragraph. It's not compulsory, but that's what I did. I'm just sharing my idea with you. So that's what I said. And the last thing, you should close this part with how it will benefit your country. Just very briefly, this course I'm learning, my course outline, after I've done it, how, just briefly, how it will benefit. Okay, it would help in providing so thing, it will help in changing so thing. So just briefly, it doesn't have to be too much, because you're going to explain those things in, in details in the next section, and we'll go into that. So the second question in this category says detailed plan of study. I didn't really get the question, but this is like a detailed plan of your study. What are you going to do? How are you going to plan your study? What do you hope to learn? All those things. So I'm going to also read mine, but before I read mine, I want to break it down how I wrote it. So first of all, you have to introduce the general aim of your master's degree. So this is how I introduced mine. I said, in my quest to better understand how policies are implemented. So this is what I want to understand after my master's degree: leadership in health, policy implementation, and the rest of them. So this is how you can introduce it. You can start with the aim of, why have you chosen this course? Why are you here? Like, what do you hope to understand, to learn after your MSc program? So that was what I said in my first paragraph. In my quest to better understand how policies are implemented, I have chosen so course at the university of this. Do you understand? So this is why you're here, and that is why you've chosen this. So first of all, introduce your general aim, then connect it to the school you're applying to. So that is why I've chosen so course in so school. The next thing is for you to mention specific modules you're going to learn. You have to go through the school's website, the department you're applying to, check the modules that they have. Is it something you're interested in? Which of the modules catches your interest specifically? Which one are you longing to learn? So take note of that particular module that you cannot wait to learn. If there's also a professor that you like his research, you like what he's doing, also mention him or her there. Let's say you're taking a module on biostatistics. You're going to learn how to use statistical packages, or you're going to learn regression models and stuff like that. So if there's any particular skill you're going to learn, this is where you have to write out that skill. Say it as it is. I'm going to learn this skill in so course. Now the next is, why have you chosen UK? Why UK? Why not US? Why not Australia? Why here? Why not Canada? Why are you in the United Kingdom? So you can say that the UK, you can talk about their diversity. Maybe UK is diverse, or even the school you're going to is diverse, or they have advanced technology, or you checked the ranking of this course, worldwide ranking, and you saw that this school ranked very high, and it's in the UK. So it's not just about UK alone, it's also about the school you've chosen. And then after talking about UK, you can also say that you like the environment, is serene, is this, and then you can talk about the school you've chosen. Why have you chosen this school? You can say it could be because of a professor, it could be because of a module that they are doing that other schools are not doing. So one thing that really one of the things that really reoccurred in mine was that most of the schools I was applying to, they were focused on low and middle income countries. Okay, so some others were just talking about public health issues, policy issues in UK, in maybe US, or these countries. But some of the schools I applied to, most of them were emphasizing mostly on low and middle income countries, and their professors were doing work in South Africa, in Nigeria, in Kenya, in Zimbabwe. They were doing their research in low and middle income countries. So that was why I said, I chose this school because this school is giving me what I want. This school is focusing on low and middle income countries, which is where I am going to practice at the end of the day. So it is going to be beneficial for me. So this is how I wrote mine about the UK. So I said, universities in the UK are known for their current and cutting-edge scientific researches, which are being cited all over the world. And then I talked about the university that I chose, the QS ranking. If the university is known for a particular thing that you're interested in, you can just put it there. Tell them, just give them credit for being a good school. And yeah, and then finally, you can just give a glimpse, talk about your research area. if there's something that you really want to do. For me, I already had like a research topic, so I mentioned that someone advised that I have, even if it's not exactly what I'm going to do, because in the course of your learning you might find other interesting topics and you can even change your topic. But for now, have something you would like to work on. It's just like a proposed topic. It's not like it's what you're going to do at the end of the day. So have a proposed topic and end your essay with that. So I said, during the final stage of my proposed study, I wish to work on the dissertation topic. So I mentioned the topic in quotation mark. So if you can, mention the topic. But if you don't have like a particular topic, but you have an area of interest, you can say, I wish to conduct research in so areas, emphasizing on so group of people, or emphasizing on so factors. So put it there, let them have an idea of, oh, this person actually knows what. And please let that topic also reflect what you've been talking about since. Like you said, I also want to learn how to research and how to apply this research in making and designing and implementing health policies. So this was where my research area was tending towards. So if you don't have a particular topic, please write the area you really want to research on. Yeah, so in the next video I'm going to be talking about objectives during and after the award and leadership and volunteering essay. Yeah, so if you like this video so far, please subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Also, if you've not seen the other videos, please go ahead. I'll put them up here. Please go and watch the other videos, like, drop a comment, and if you want me to do the next part of this video, let me know in the comment section that you want to see it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Ciao.